Sure, ma'am.
No, no, Mariam also. Yeah, yeah, okay, Mariam. No problem. Jabin?
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Super 7, a national level web talk series organized by Pete Memorial Training College in association with World Youth Skills Day. In 2014, the United Nations General Assembly declared 15th July as World Youth Skills Day to celebrate the strategic importance of equipping young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. Since then, World Youth Skills Day events have provided a unique opportunity for dialogue between young people, technical and vocational education and training institutions, employers, policymakers, and development partners. World Youth Skills Day 2021 will take place in a challenging context with the continuation of the COVID 19 pandemic, resulting in the widespread disruption of the technical, vocational education, and training sector. Super 7 was conceived keeping in mind the idea that nothing should stand in the way of learning and reimagining skills. Hence, here we are, proudly presenting to you Super 7. 7 days, 7 skills, and 7 amazing speakers. Before we formally begin the function, I request the Secretary of Religious Association, Anne-C.T. Joy, to lead us in prayer.
Lit candlelight, amber encircling gloom, lit down me home. The night is young, and a young far from home. Lead me home. Keep down my feet. I do not have to see the distant sea. One stop here now for me.
Thank you, Nancy. Now I invite Arun Ebi David, the College Union Chairman, for welcome address.
Respected Principal, our Chief Guest, resource person for the session, teachers and delegates, a warm good morning to all. Today, we all gathered here for the inaugural ceremony of Super 7, a 7-day long web talk series that is jointly organized by the IQAC and the College Union Athaya in connection with the International Youth Skill Day that falls on 15th of July. In December 2014, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution declaring 15 July as the World Youth Skill Day. The goal is to achieve a better socio-economic condition for today's youth and addressing the challenges of unemployment and underemployment through development of skills proficiencies. In the present scenario, young people are exposed to socio-economic consequences of the pandemic. School and workplace closures are leading to learning and training losses. For the year 2021, theme for Youth Skill Day is Reimaging Youth Skills for the Post-Pandemic Era, which focuses on enhancing the ability of youth to adapt with the demands placed on the post-COVID days. I have been assigned the duty of welcoming this gathering. First and foremost, I welcome our college principal, Dr. Mariam Matthew, who is a constant support and a source of inspiration to all events being planned in this institution. I welcome you, ma'am, to the inaugural ceremony of Super.
Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure to welcome our chief guest, an eminent personality who has proven her skills in the field of specialization. Education, Dr. K.P. Mira, Head, Department of Education, University of Calicut, has agreed to inaugurate this grand academic event, and she is here with us today. We warmly welcome you, ma'am, to this event.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would now like to welcome our resource person for the first session, Ms. Mariam Rauf, who would enable us to sharpen our public speaking skills with her resourceful talk. Welcome, ma'am, to the inaugural session of Super 7.
Thank you, Arun.
Now I would welcome Dr. Ali Moli Verghese, Assistant Professor, and Ms. Anne Marie Agustin, Student Representative, who are here to offer the felicitation for the session. I welcome all other delegates from various institutions from across the country who have joined with us today. A warm welcome is also due to the College Union Staff Advisors, Dr. Velayathan Nair and Dr. Soni Mary Verghese, and other union members, teaching and non-teaching faculties of a college, and all other participants, including our own B.Ed and M.Ed students. May this be a wonderful beginning to the very productive academic year endeavor. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. Right since we became a part of the Pete family, be different and do things differently is what we were taught. Our principal, Dr. Mariam has always inspired us to do the same. With so much joy, ma'am, I invite you to give the presidential address.
A warm good morning to one and all. Respected Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. K.P. Meera, Head of the Department of Education, University of Calicut. Respected Resource Person, Ms. Mariam Rauf, Mr. Arun A.B. David, College Union Chairperson, Dr. Ali Muli Verghese, Ms. Anne Mary Augustine, Jabin Fatima College Union Chairperson, the coordinator of the program, Dr. Velayathan Nair, distinguished guests, participants, colleagues, and my dear students. When the heart is full, words are few. Why? Because Advaya, the college union of Pete Memorial Training College Mavelikara, along with IQAC of the college, is organizing such a wonderful, useful, innovative, relevant program, that too a week-long one, with utmost precision and care. Pete Memorial Training College, established in the year 1960, has been one of the pioneering institutions in teacher education in the country and has served as a resource center by All these skills are identified as special skills because it is very beneficial for the present and the future. Special appreciation again to the coordinator for spending days and days, hours and hours from the planning stage, designing the brochure, then allotting duties for different people, including teachers and students, and finally the execution. I'm very much grateful to Dr. Meera, head of the Department of Education, University of Calicut, who is a kind and a gentle person who, in spite of her busy schedule, has given her consent to come and inaugurate this beautiful function. And also a big thanks to the resource person of the first day, that is Miss, who is none other than Miss Mariam Rauf. Again, amidst the busy schedule, has come here to talk on public speaking. A humble request to all the participants who are present here: make avail or make use of every opportunity that comes through your way. Each day is an experience. All best wishes to all the members of the college union, my colleagues, participants, and my dear students. Let this day be the most fruitful one. Stay safe, stay at home, and stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We have with us today a very eminent personality and acclaimed figure in the field of education to inaugurate Super 7. With so much happiness, I invite Dr. K.P. Meera, head of the Department of Education, University of Calicut, to officially inaugurate the talk series and address the gathering.
Respected Principal Dr. Mariam Matthew, Dr. Ali Moli Varghese, Dr. Velayudan Nair, Resource Person Mariam Rauf, Jabin Fatima, and all participants of this webinar, a very good morning. I am very happy to see that the IQAC and the College Union of Pete Memorial Training College, Mavelikara, organize a web talk series on 7 super skills for modern teachers in the context of the coming World Youth Skills Day. It is a wise decision to arrange this program to commemorate the World Youth Skills Day, which falls on 15th of July. As you know, World Youth Skills Day is organized by the United Nations to draw attention to the opportunities and challenges facing young people's employment. Skills development is a primary means of enabling young people to make a smooth transition to work. The pandemic and lockdowns have created an uncomfortable condition. The World Skills Day 2021 will celebrate the resilience and creativity of young throughout the crisis. This webinar will take care of 7 important skills essential for the teachers to survive in the present century. I hope that after attending the seminar, you will be able to live through many crises in your professional life. With these words, with your permission, I declare that the National Web Talk Series on 7 super skills for modern teachers organized by Pete Memorial College is inaugurated. I thank the organizers for giving me a chance to be with you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would now like to invite Dr. Ali Moli Varghese, Assistant Professor in Education, to do the felicitation.
Principal Dr. Mariam, Chief Guest Dr. Epina, Person Ms. Mariam, and of the program as secretary, dear students, other participants. Good morning to all. People knowledge always strive for perfection and conduct various academic and non-academic activities and programs so as to help students and stakeholders come out in colors, exhibit best wherever they are, use their potentials for their for the benefit of the society. That is drawing up best and around development of man and child as envisaged by Mahatma Gandhi. As you already know, this program is in connection with youth become a respectful and acceptable member of society. Like amidst chaos and confusion, we need to certain life skills in addition to knowledge. Gaining knowledge solely will not help in managing our lives happily. For this, we need certain skills, and especially during these difficult times, everything has changed a lot. Through this program, intent the development of crucial. Actually, this program is a wonderful idea that in Dr. Velayudhan mind and all of us work according to this idea and direction. The skills to be put these 7 days will keep in mind need of the hour, and the speakers too are people who have displayed expertise proficiency in respective areas. So we are expecting 7 days of relevant and enlightened courses. Participants will also get chances to interact with resource persons. And now we take the opportunity all the college union members, union advisors, Dr. Velayudhan and Dr. Tony Merriweather, members, Dr. Mariam for making this happen. Program will be featured all the participants. Thank you all for joining us. You have a wonderful time.
Thank you, ma'am. I invite Anne Mary Augustine from first year B.Ed for the felicitation.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Principal Dr. Mariam Matthew, our Chief Guest Dr. K.P. Meera, resource person for this section Ms. Mariam Rauf, all dignitaries, teachers, and my dear friends. Hope you all are doing well. The more importance we give to the skill development, the more competent our youth will be. This was told by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, and I think it certainly indicates the significance of skill development these days. If we want our skills and potentials to hit the optimum, they should be ideally developed. So this program, which intends to develop and nurture these skills, conflict resolution, social networking, professional readiness are the topic upon which utmost concern is demanded. And today, Ms. Mariam Rauf is here to share her views on public speaking and ignite our minds with her great ideas and views. I use this opportunity to wish her all the very best. Let us all utilize this chance to augment our calibers and talents. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Anne. And we've now come to the end of the inaugural ceremony. I invite Dr. Wellington IoT, advisor to the College Union, to propose the vote of thanks.
Jabin,
Thank you, sir. So we are about to begin the first talk of the Super 7 series. This is day one, and the skill chosen for the day is public speaking skills. So before we go into the first talk of the series, I request all of you to do a silent prayer. Thank you, everyone. Now I invite Dr. Soni Mary Burgess, advisor to the College Union, for the welcome address.
good morning, everyone. Dear Principal Dr. Mariam ma'am, our dear Mariam Rauf, my dear colleagues, my dear participants, and my dear students. Most people at some point in their life will need to stand up and speak in front of a group of people, especially we teachers. As part of our educational and occupational demands, educators are presented with speaking occasions on a daily basis. This makes it crucial for a teacher to develop both public speaking skills and communication skills. But one thing we all know that we, even teachers, have a fear to speak in public. Even though we are content competent, we lack the confidence to present a material in front of a live audience in a structured and deliberate manner. Remember that even though public speaking seems to be terrifying for us, but when you care about your career progress, you need to find a way to get your voice out or you will be out. So here, the IQAC of Pete Memorial Training College, along with the College Union Adware 2021, is organizing a web talk series on Super 7 skills for modern teachers. The 7 most essential skills required by a 21st century teacher. Web Talk series begin with a session on public speaking skills, a soft skill that requires excellent communication skills, enthusiasm, and ability to engage with the audience. We have here a right person for talking on public speaking skills. Ms. Mariam Rauf, a budding young speaker and leader, a life coach, and an English language tutor. She has been working as an English public speaking mentor since 2015. She is a confident and eloquent public speaker, which will be revealed in her talk to be delivered today. She is an enthusiastic, award winning professional tutor who engages most of her time in EAL courses and life skills workshops. She was acknowledged as top 10 Indian young women change makers by Quintillion Media, which reveals her leadership qualities as well. We are extremely privileged to have Mariam Rao with us today amidst a busy schedule of coaching, tutoring, and mentoring. Mariam, it is truly an excellent opportunity to learn from you. Thank you for accepting our invitation. On behalf of the principal, staff, and students of Peet Memorial Training College, I extend a warm welcome to Mariam Rao to this program. Once again, I welcome our dear principal, Dr. Mariam Matthew, the backbone of our institution, Dr. Velayathan Nayati, the master brain behind this program, Arun A.B. David, and all the union members, my dear colleagues and my dear students, both B.Ed and M.Ed, to this program. Once again, I welcome all dear participants to this program and make this a great success. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Shruti Sara Reddy, may I request you to introduce our speaker for the day?
Good morning, everyone. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our resource person for today's session, Ms. Mariam Rauf. Moving on to her educational qualifications, she finished her secondary education in 2014 from Excelsior English School, Kottayam, with 95% and completed her graduation BA Honours in Sociology with distinction from one of the India's top-ranking college under Delhi University in 2017. She has TESOL certification and a Canadian license for the same. Cambridge Teaching Knowledge Test Certification, British Council IELTS, Business English Teach Test Certificate, and also in life skills and personal safety. Moving on to her achievements, in 2011, CBC State Level Kalolsav Kerala, she won the first prize in English versification, and in 2013, first place for English extempo, and in 2014, she received National Merit for the English Core in CBC 12th grade examination, and in the period of 2014 to 17, she received various awards for English extempo, debates, creative writing, and public speaking at the university level. In 2017, she won AMPA Dalmia Prize for Creative Talent and Commitment to College, and in 2019, she secured a place in top 10 Indian Young Women Changemakers organized by Quintillion Media. From school days onwards, she excelled in her leadership skills. She was a head girl of Excelsior English School. In her college days, publicity team head of Department of Sociology, college society head in voluntary agency placement programs, child safety campaign head from 2018 to till now. She started her career as an IELTS speaking trainee at Darshana Academy, Kottayam. Later, as an English tutor in a non-governmental organization, Koshish Prajna Foundation for Children from Slums. Later, youth facilitator to encourage leadership development in a non-governmental organization, and English public speaker as a part of Project Hours. She wrote project reports and helped manage projects for funders such as the United Nations to promote underprivileged citizen journalist campaigns. And she led high-intensity group fitness workouts for women and girls. At present, she is working as English language tutor at Bibo Global Opportunity, conducting EAL courses for international students from over 5 different countries. And now She is the owner of Learn with Mariam Rauf English Language and Life Skills Educator. We're delivering EL courses and life skills workshops using quality resources such as those from Cambridge and Oxford for children and adults at schools at her own learning center. So it's very clear from her experience that she is the most apt resource person for this session to sharpen our public skills. Once again, we are welcoming you, ma'am, and we are pleased to have you with us in the Super 7 Web Talk series in association with the World Youth Skills Day.
Thank you, Shruti. So, Ms. Mariam, the platform is all yours and we are all yours.
That's very wonderful. Hello, everybody. Let's start with a question. So I'm sure you can use the bottom right option that says chat with everyone so I can see your answers. Hello to everybody on the Google Meet meeting. Hello to everybody on YouTube. Please go ahead and use the chat to write in a word or multiple words that come into your mind when you hear the term public speaking. I'm going to wait for your responses. Let's see. Confidence, creativity, okay. What else? Communication, 100%, yes. Anything else? There's no right answer, so you can literally say anything. Face the public, ideas, speak to society with courage. Ooh, wow, courage. Mass gatherings, preparation, courtesy, stage fright. Wonderful, yes. Leadership, interaction skills, nervousness. All right, thank you so much for those responses. I see a large crowd. It's just me on stage. Yeah, that's a wonderful answer. Thank you, everybody, for those responses. Ooh, and one person said that public speaking is art. That's very true, Akhil. Thank you for that. Influence, confidence. Wonderful. Thank you for those responses. On that note, good morning to everybody. Thank you for all of the wonderful speeches and for your kind words, Shruti and Soni ma'am. Let's begin with the first thing, which I think we've mentioned stage in one of your responses. Is public speaking about a stage? So you can just this time type in yes or no. Audience, yeah, is it about a stage? Okay, I'm getting some no's. Is public speaking about a stage? Oh, wow. Literally everyone's on a no. Well, great. On that note, I don't have to explain it much further. That it is not about a stage. Public speaking can very well be a conversation, correct? Public speaking is anything from you introducing your cousin to your best friend. It's anything from you going and meeting somebody new at a cafe. It can be anything at all. It's your family dinner at times when there's a member who isn't on that dinner table every night. It can be just going out and talking to a shopkeeper. Public speaking can be absolutely anything that doesn't have to be a stage involved. On that note, can you all talk then? Yes, we can, right? We all can talk. We're blessed with that ability. So if public speaking is not about a stage and if everybody can talk, does that mean that everybody can be a public speaker? Yes or no? Waiting for your response once again. Attract the audience, present your ideas. Yes. Never. Okay, so great. This is probably the first myth that I should bust. That if it's not about a stage, if it's about Zoom calls, attending lessons, even answering a question in your class by raising your hand, if all of that is public speaking, then can we all be public speakers? So I see a bunch of no's and even a very passionate never from Madhu Govind. So we'll hopefully try to convert that by the end of this session. The first thing being, who should be given a stage? And that brings us to, there's this really popular term or this really popular clause from a very famous speech that said, I have a dream. Could you tell me who said that? Whose speech was it? Whose very famous speech had the clause, I have a dream, repeated over and over again? Yeah, thank you, Anju Sadi. That's absolutely the correct answer. It was Martin Luther King Jr., right? He was a wonderful public speaker. At the same time, somebody else was a public speaker, but people didn't really respect it after a point because of the agenda he pursued. Yeah, wonderful. I can see everyone's quite familiar with him. That's great. And that would be Hitler, right? So Hitler was a fantastic public speaker. Can't take that away from him. At the same time, Martin Luther King Jr. too was a fantastic public speaker, but their agendas were quite different, you know? And so the authenticity with which you come into a speech is the first bit that helps you decide whether you're going to be comfortable and confident or not, right? So let's take a few seconds there for all of you to tell me, can introverts speak in public? Once again, it's a yes or a no. If you're a public speaker, if you're an introvert, I'd love to see whether you think that's a yes or a no. Okay, I'm getting a lot of yeses. Any no's? Can an introvert be a public speaker? Okay, on that note, who is an introvert? Could you put that in the chat as well? Perhaps better than an extrovert? Yeah, very possible, Rashmi. Thank you. But they have to work on it. Okay, who is an introvert? Define an introvert. Yeah, wonderful. I see the YouTube folks answering as well. Who is an introvert? How do you define an introvert? Okay, I don't see anything yet. Introverts can speak in public. Yes, Akhil, they can. Somebody who's uncomfortable with strangers. Okay. Any other, someone who self-reflects? Interesting, Shabna. Selectively social. Good one, Anishri. Enjoys own company, mingles less, not interested in social. Yeah, so let's bust that myth. Myth number 2. So the first was all about, is public speaking about a stage and huge crowds? We said no. The second one is, I'm getting a lot of, introverts are shy people, but there is a huge difference. They are not equal to each other. They can't be synonymous. An introvert is not a person who's shy. An introvert is a person who gets energy from being with themselves, which some of you said they enjoy their own company and they need that time to recharge. So it has nothing to do with, not wanting to open up, not wanting to share. I think some people said that they might be sharing extra just with a limited set of people, and that's wonderful, right? The person might seem reserved because they want that time with themselves, but it has nothing to do with being shy or not wanting to be around people. They might be around people a lot, but they also need that time to go recharge. So that's great. I'm glad that that myth is busted as well, that introverts can very well be amazing public speakers. It has nothing to do with stage fright, and introversion is just to do with, do they get energy from being with themselves or being with others? Fantastic. Let's go to myth number 3. Why do you feel the fear of public? Can you tell me that? Can I have your responses? Why be afraid? Yeah. Introverts like solitude. Yes. They focus on their inner thoughts. Why be afraid? Okay, great. Grammatical errors, lack of confidence. Yeah, but lack of confidence is a very generic way of putting it. Can you tell me why? Why do we lack confidence? Okay. Previous experiences, of course, the past always holds us back. Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Madhurima. Fear of judgment. Yeah. What will others say? We won't be accepted. Being afraid of embarrassment. Yeah. Anything else? Why are we not confident? Too many people. Yes. Negative remarks, of course. That's the risk of being alive altogether, isn't it? That you might as well just do everything as good as you can, but you'll still get some or the other comment. Humiliation. Wonderful. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. I think you've got into somewhere where I'm getting to. All the other responses, I hope to address them. If I don't, please remind me through the chat. So some of you have said language. Some of you have said confidence through not knowing. We think the audience knows everything. Yeah, well, it's always good to think of your audience as intelligent. I believe every audience is intelligent. And yes, I'd like to come to what Sri Lakshmi said about not having confidence within ourselves. Yeah. And then we'll come back to the people giving us negative responses bit. As for not having confidence within ourselves, I like to believe that criticism is something that's both within and without. So if I think that I lack discipline, I'm not just going to keep telling myself, come on, work harder. Why can't you stick to these rules? You know, you're supposed to start right now. It's due tomorrow, things like that. And I'm also going to use that same mode of criticism that I have for myself towards others. So as soon as somebody shows some sign of not being organized and like, oh, you lack discipline. Or, you know, if somebody, maybe as teachers, all of you, go to a class and somebody doesn't submit something on time, it's like, you need more discipline. But that's not just coming from our feelings towards them, it's also how we treat ourselves. So how we treat ourselves is converted into how we treat others. And if we're treating ourselves as, oh, you can't speak and, you know, you're just so stupid, and then that's going to convert into us speaking to others as well. And then when we go in front of an audience and they're right there in front of you, you're like, wow, they're going to think I'm stupid. They know so much. I know so less, and all of that. So I would like to say that begins with something called mindfulness. We're now going to look at the personal development aspect of it and then go into the social part of it. Okay. So mindfulness is all about being present in the current moment. It's about being more thoughtful before we speak. And it's also about realizing the power dynamics within any speech, conversation, interaction in the world. So in a classroom, as teachers, we're sitting there, we already have a feeling that I know more than my students in this subject. Right? So a lot of you say that, yeah, we're comfortable just lecturing and teaching and, you know, asking questions because we feel like we know more often. And that's not the same when it goes to an audience, because like one of you said, we think that the audience knows much more than us. But if we start implementing mindfulness in our lives, it starts with the simple fact that I know so and so. I have so much more to learn. There's nobody in the world who knows everything. And I treat others as sources of knowledge. Like, I can learn something from you even right now, and you can learn something from me too. And it's a mutual exchange. I'm not the boss. You're not the boss. Nobody's the boss except God. And that we sit together at, you know, a circular sort of table and exchange knowledge. And in that case, no one has the higher ground. No one is holier than thou. And so there's a lack of feeling like, oh, I know so less or he knows so much, because it's a mutual exchange. Any thoughts about that so far? Yes, absolutely, Dr. Jaikumari. It's a lack of positive validation that we fail to give ourselves. Great. All right. And where does this, you know, sort of surge from? Where does it originate from? How can you make yourself feel like I'm enough, I'm learning, and I'm always going to be a learner? Any techniques, any tips, any methods? I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, it's a mutual exchange. I'm not going to sit and say, do 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to, you know, have everything in life. This is a roundtable conference, like I said, and you tell me what you think. And then, oh yeah, I see someone's raised their hand. Could you please unmute yourself and speak? All right. Okay, still thinking. That's all right. That's fine. Okay. So we came to myth number 1. Public speaking is not about a stage. It's happening every day. You're doing it every day without necessarily realizing it. We came to myth number 2, which is, sorry, one second. Taking things, absolutely. Learn from experiences, which is exactly what somebody said earlier, that if earlier we've had a negative experience in terms of public speaking, now we feel like we can't do it. Instead, if you consider that as a learning point, that's amazing. Thank you, Shabna. That's a really nice answer. So we looked at myth number 1, not just about a stage. Myth number 2, it's also about authenticity. That is, as long as what you're saying has no agenda to hurt somebody, harm somebody, insult them, then there's no reason to feel like you don't deserve a platform to share your ideas and to learn from each other. Yes, Imranullah, please go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us what you're thinking. I see you're raising your hand, but I can't spot your thumbnail to unmute you. Okay, yes. If it doesn't work out, you can always use the chat. All right, so we came to personal development. We started looking at what Sri Lakshmi said about not feeling confidence within ourselves because we're judging ourselves. And so what I'm trying to say is through working on ourselves and trying to let go of judgment within ourselves, we also stop judging others. It's a huge, difficult process, but it's definitely worth it. It's always a journey. It's never like, now I don't judge at all, because that's impossible, right? Great. So personal development, trying to implement mindfulness, trying to also exercise both your brain and your body and your soul, all of it, to get to a healthy place where you feel like, you know what, I'm doing great. So every day we sit and take selfies and go like, my hair is like this today. My nose is so small or so big. My eyes look a bit weird, so and so. And we're constantly criticizing ourselves, and to sort of replace that with us working out and feeling like, wow, I can do so much with my body. I'm so thankful for it. To do a puzzle and be like, wow, I got, 4 out of 10 answers correct. That's pretty good. And to also exercise the spirit by meditation, prayer, breathing, all of that. We'll come to breathing in a while. We're all going to be deep breathing together. Okay, let's get to the next bit after criticism, which is something we already covered actually in terms of introversion and extroversion. Let me see if I can share my screen right now. So we have it on a board. Let's see. And 1, 2, 3, here it is. Okay. I hope you're able to see it. All right. Yeah, it's somehow not moving into the slide, so we'll go like this. All right. So we said all of the words that came into our minds. We said it's not about a stage. We then looked at who the famous speaker was that said, I have a dream. We looked at the difference between authenticity and the intention with which we come to a stage, right? And then we looked at how it's not about introversion. I'm sure you've already covered in your courses things about multiple intelligences, how a lot of us are made to think like we're not intelligent because the intelligent people are only the ones who crack exams and do certain things and achieve certain things in life. But intelligence can be so varied, right? There's some people who use their bodies really well, who can, twist it and flex it and just really good with that stuff, movement wise. There's some people who take amazing photographs, but don't necessarily do something else. Some people who interact with nature so beautifully. And all of these are considered intelligences. And to just give ourselves that moment of saying, oh, wow, I am intelligent in some way or the other, right? And this is the next question, after which I'll go back into the chat to see your answers. What percentage of meaning is derived from words? Because some of you said, I don't have the vocabulary, my grammatical errors are just haunting me. So what percentage of the meaning of what I'm saying right now, what you're saying in life every day is coming from words? You have 3 options on there. And in the chat, tell me which of it is. 7 or 38 or 55. Okay, let's see. Where are your answers? What percentage of the meaning of what you're saying comes from words? So you said, I don't have the vocabulary. My language skills are not the best. You said, I'm making grammatical errors. So now, please, in the chat, go ahead and type in what percent of what you're saying is being absorbed from the words. 75%. Thank you, Rashmi. What else? Any other answers? 90%. Thank you, Mala Jayashree. Any other responses? Let's see. What do you want to say? What do you think it is? 90, 75. Go ahead, use the chat. I am not going to be preaching at you. I want you to guess, you to think. Depends on the language you're speaking. Interesting response. In general, though, keeping all languages possibly 50%, 80%, 50 again. Oh, we're going with 50 as a team. Okay. Any other answers? What percentage of the meaning is coming from the words? So go ahead, use the bottom right option that says chat with everyone and send us your guesses. 80. Okay, there's a lot of 80, 75, 90, and then a bunch of 50. Okay, people, some more people to lean the balance towards 80 or, we have Rugma saying 10. Okay, 30. All right. Any other guesses? 50, 30. Okay, we're coming down as a, all right, we're coming back to 50. I think 50 is winning this war. Let's see. 7. Ooh, Mega Vinod, interesting. 25, 25, 80. Thank you, YouTube folks. I see your answers and I'm delighted to see you participating. So I'm going to have to go with Mega Vinod, who said 7%. There were 3 options on the little chart, little pie diagram that you had seen, the little graph. And the answer is 7%. Only 7% of what I'm saying is being absorbed from the words. So in that case, where is the 93% coming from? Gestures, yes, thank you, Shabna. What else? Gestures and? Correct, Divya Jose, only 7%. Tone, wonderful. Thank you, Rugma. Tone, so how I'm saying what I'm saying, and the body language. Which brings us to the one of the basics of public speaking, which would be body language. If I suddenly slouch my shoulders and start looking down, what do you think I'm feeling while I'm talking to you? Instead of this, I give you, so yes, and public speaking is really important. I'm uncomfortable, yeah. Paralanguage, interesting term, Indubala. I'm tensed, absolutely, I'm uncomfortable, and I'm sort of passing that on to you, that feeling, right? What if I start reading from my notes? What if I had the whole thing for today ready and I'm going to start reading it one by one? What do you feel then? What do you feel as an audience if I'm like, yeah, public speaking is not about a stage. We have to be authentic in our intentions. We have to be mindful and work on ourselves. Stop criticizing ourselves and others. Introverts does not mean that they're not, confident. Body language is really important. What do you feel? That I'm not interested? That I'm wow, some audience members feel that I'm not interested and some others feel that she's not interesting at all. Wonderful. It's boring. You get disconnected. Absolutely not well versed in the whole business. And YouTube folks, pronunciation simple, the essence is lost, and that I'm feeling low and I'm not confident. Exactly. So please go ahead and make eye contact. If it's through a virtual call like we're on right now, you've got the camera right there. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. And if not, then and you feel tensed by the kind of faces people give you can always just look at their heads or a few people, here and there, instead of necessarily looking at one person, seeing them yawn and feeling, oh my God, my life is destroyed. Cool. So great. That also comes to posture, which we know a lot of people fidget with their arms and rock from side to side. What do you feel when they do that? Kind of the similar stuff, right? You feel that they're nervous, they're not comfortable, they just want to get out of whatever they're doing and stop interacting with you to feel calm once again. So body language is what we got to, and 93% of what we're saying is coming from the tone, the gestures, the body language, and that includes eye contact and the posture. Cool? Okay, so we've looked at a bunch of stuff once again. Let's now get to how do we draft our speech, or how do we ideate, and how do we start making action? Because we've looked at the inner work, we've said, okay, self-development. And now we're going to be looking at, okay, it's your time to speak. How do you do this? The first thing I would believe is to give your audience something of value. If you're going to say something that has 0 inputs, absolutely nothing new or nothing old said in an interesting new format, they're going to definitely zone out, right? They're not going to be like, wow, this is so amazing. I want to listen. This is going to be, okay. And that's how it goes. So definitely think of something of value. And the second thing would be to think of your audience. So you're like, okay, I'm going to give them something of value, but now your audience is suddenly you're a principal, God willing, someday, and your audience are your school students. It's going to be really different how you talk to your students and how you talk to your teachers, correct? So think about your audience and tailor stuff according to that. Yes? Then we're going to go into your ideas because they need organization. You might have the best ideas, but if they're all scattered and don't make sense whatsoever, it's not going to work out. So think about how you want to organize your ideas and just keep it great in that way. Let's now go to the next rule, which I personally love. It's going to be described by a short story. And once again, I'm going to ask you what you think about it. So here is the presentation. You can hopefully see it really clearly. Okay, there we are. This is something that apparently Ernest Hemingway told a bunch of friends that he was talking with, that you can write a novel in these many words. How many words are there? And what feeling do you think this is supposed to evoke? For sale, baby shoes, never worn. How many words? Question number one. Question number two, what feeling does this bring into a reader's mind? Just those words. Okay, ready to see your answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I've got a yes, I can see the screen, but I'm also waiting to see how many words were there and what feeling. 8 words, okay. What feeling did that bring into you? For sale, baby shoes, never worn. I'm going to type that in case anybody missed it out. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. He wrote a novel in these many words. He said he could. And what feeling does it bring into you and how many words are there? Go ahead, bottom right option, right? Oh, okay, I see somebody's raised their hand. Could you unmute yourself and speak? If that's possible. Mary, I believe. No. Okay. All right, no problem. In the chat, people, what feeling is that supposed to bring in? Baby shoes that are being sold and were never worn. Something new and innovative. Okay. What does it mean if baby shoes were never worn? Somebody bought baby shoes and then they were not ever used, so they're being sold. What does it mean? What happened? Yes. Any thoughts? All right, I'm still waiting. What does it mean if baby shoes were never worn, if they were never used? Shoes for a baby, yeah, they clearly had value when they were bought, but then later they didn't have the same value. Why? What happened? Shoes were not the right fit. Interesting answer, Ramhari. Yeah, thank you, Sindhu Rajesh on YouTube. That is absolutely correct. Some sort of tragedy, possibly, that led to shoes being bought for a baby, but some tragedy happened, and then there is perhaps no baby, and so the baby never got to wear the shoes. And immediately, it's like a really depressing sort of story. And he did that within just 6 words. So what do you think my point is over here? What am I trying to tell you about public speaking? If he wrote a novel in 6 words, yes, Sunil, totally possible that the baby's feet just grew up. Yes, Ardra, there was nobody to wear it. Absolutely, Ushvinder, maybe the baby was never born. Maybe it was a miscarriage, something really sad like that. Don't focus on the words, think of the idea. Brevity is the key. Ooh, interesting. Yes, that's absolutely it, right? Be precise. Keep it short. We've all got attention spans that are reducing day by day. Long videos have become short videos. Documentaries have become 3-minute, affairs. 3-minute videos have become like just a short GIF. So everything's becoming shorter and shorter. And so it's really important to make sure you're holding the attention of your audience and not dancing around with 5,000 words when you can just easily do that in 50. Cool. So we've looked at be precise. We've looked at it's not just a stage. We've looked at have clear intentions and good ones when you go on a stage. We've looked at it's not about the words, so don't worry about the grammar and don't worry about the vocabulary. And now we're going to look at some breathing. So very beautifully, I've noticed that in our session today, we, I think, took at least 3 different moments just to say a prayer and start this on a positive, good note, right? And that's just one of the best things that you could do, to pray or to bring in good intentions, to bring in good thoughts and start positively so that there's nothing negative like fear or any sort of judgment of yourself holding you back. Let's now do what I said we'd do earlier. Absolutely. Few words, you can clearly convey it anyway, which is we're going to breathe. And you're like, but we're all breathing right now. What do you mean? Well, we are breathing, but most of the time we're breathing really short. We're just sending in, out, in, out. I'd like you to take your breath in all the way to your belly and then release it. So can you take 3 seconds now? 5 seconds, just to breathe deeply. Take it all the way into your belly and then release. Done. Thank you. That's very kind. Keep breathing. 5 more seconds, 10 more seconds. One more breath, and then we continue. Okay. Hopefully, everyone's got some deep breathing done. And can you tell me how you feel now? So clearly, it's just been great. Akhil feels refreshed. Anybody else? Ansi feels relaxed. Shabna feels relaxed. Yes, correct. Absolutely. I feel wonderful as well. Refreshed and relaxed. So if it feels so refreshing and so relaxing, don't you think it's an amazing technique when we're feeling angry, when we're feeling nervous, when we're feeling sad, when we're feeling like we can't focus? Breath work is one of the best exercises we could do. And all it takes is those 10 seconds or even just those 5 seconds to just get your breath all the way to your belly, focus on what you're feeling and let it all out. So that's a fantastic tip that I've been practicing before you step into doing absolutely anything, not just a public speech. Oh, that's lovely. Somebody feels peaceful and content altogether. That's great. Okay. So we've looked at what public speaking is, what it's not, and how to start the process of drafting by keeping people's attention and preciseness in our minds. And we looked at calming ourselves down as well. Now the question is, when I or if I start by saying, good morning, everybody, today we're what are you feeling as an audience? Good morning. This presentation is going to be about public speaking. No energy? Okay, I'll say it with energy. Good morning. Today, this presentation is going to be technical, usual. Thank you. Usual practice. What else? What do you feel? Good morning. We're going to talk about public speaking. Public speaking is a very important skill. It's so important. I can't stress how important it is. Cliche, absolutely mechanical, technical. The 100% usual stuff we've been hearing so often that we're just sick and tired of it. So on that note, rote memory, as someone's just put, entered the data and the robot is speaking. Feeling good after breathing. Great to hear that, Michael Nyavi. And monotonous, absolutely, Ravi. So here is a small little tidbit about that. That what does the audience think when somebody says, good morning, let's start, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's look at that. And 3, 2, 1. Here it is. Well, my presentations disappeared from my share screen. So I think I'll skip that for the time being. Yeah, let's skip it. But basically, what it said was that when the speaker says good morning, the audience says good night. They're immediately logging out. It's like an automatic, yes, like everybody said, so monotonous, so boring that as soon as a person goes, hey, good morning, and I'd like to talk about, and this is so important, the audience is like, good night. Let me think about what I'm having for lunch today, when I'll get to talk with my friends. What fun thing. Yeah, here we go again. Absolutely, Mala Jayashree. That's exactly what the audience thinks, right? That, okay, one more, 2 more, another person will talk, and that's how it goes. So please make sure that your introduction is strong. Please make sure it's anything other than good morning, let's talk, or good morning, this is the topic, and 1, 2, 3. So start out with anything. It could be a startling statistic, like 75% of people in a survey in the US said that they're afraid of public speaking, right? 75% is huge. That's in comparison with other really scary things like robberies and attacks and all sorts of stuff. So public speaking has been ranked so high. That's shocking. So maybe it could be a statistic. A lot of people do quotations from somebody who said something relevant about that topic. Some people give in introductions with a joke. How did I start today? What's the first thing we did? Yeah, it's obsolete if you just say good morning, hello, 1, 2, 3. You get bored. True. Give them some credible information. Yes. Make sure your statistics are real and not some random person saying something. Absolutely. Thank you for that. How did we start today? Voice modulation is important. Yes, that's what we said in 7% only from the words. Come on, people, tell me who has a good memory. We started a while ago. How did we start today? Interaction. That's right, Rashmi. How did we interact in the beginning? How did we start? Did I say good morning? Let's talk about public speaking. You are teachers. Public speaking is important. How did we start? For anyone who's been here from the start. Yes, absolutely. I used the question. Thank you. Yes, I said, let me ask you. Someone's got the actual one. In your opinion, absolutely. So use questioning and start having that conversation with your audience, because they are anything but intelligent and they are anything but without ideas about the topic. You might introduce one tiny thing, but they probably have so many ideas of their own, and it's a mutual learning process, and it's lively, and it's anything but just sitting over there dead. Okay. So yes, thank you, Sean. I did try my best to encourage participation from my wonderful audience here today. Yes, a question that can be answered by anyone and not like, in the Pythagorean theorem, who had the longest angle, which I'm sure a lot of you know, but I don't. But yes, absolutely, Rari, a question that could easily be answered, maybe because it's just about opinions or just about thoughts, not necessarily very complex. So use quotations, use stories, use questions, anything at all other than the classic technical, usual stuff that you said happens. And that brings us to the next point, which I'm going to scroll up and see. Yes, thank you, Pavitra, like I'm trying to do today. And that brings us to a wonderful word that Rugma Nair gave us, which is my next point, cliche. What is a cliche? Can you define it? Yes, go ahead and motivate your audience. Why not? What is a cliche? Oh, yes, absolutely, Feba. Brainstorm and get your audience to bring in the ideas. It is a round table. It's not a, I am bigger than you. I am so fancy. Let me tell you how to live life. No. What is a cliche? If you don't know it, you can Google and bring us a definition. Not a problem. Usual, yes, thank you, Alina Mani. It's the usual stuff. It's the overused stuff. Thank you, Sandra. It's the usual overused stuff that's just happening again and again. And thank you, Super 7 folks. A done to death strategy. What has been done to death in English speeches? What phrases or what thoughts are you hearing all the time? This is not a personal criticism of anybody. This is just, yeah, collaborate with your audience. But what is a cliche that you're just take your take your textbook in a classroom? Yeah, that's of course also behaviorist training of getting them to, okay, take your textbook means come on, time for serious work. Let's start. Yes, we can change let's start in a speech, not in a classroom though, in a speech, in these formal events. What have we heard so many times? Yes, people. Other than let's start, what else? Today I'm going to speak about, oh yeah, that's definitely not fun. Something we do without modifications. Yes, that's a cliche. Wishing, good morning. Yeah, I'm not saying don't wish because it's, greetings are wonderful. What I wish to share with you, can you can you hear me, Madhu Govind? Very true. A sad part of the network disruptions we face. Today we are going to discuss. Yes, so chop out all the today we're going to discuss. Cut out the I'm going to speak about. Cut out the, I wish to share with you, because they know that you're there to share with them. They know that you're going to talk about something or the other. And they know all of these basic things that we're going to talk about, 1, 2, 3. As soon as you do, we're going to talk about, they're like, yeah, good night. I'm going to think about my own life and whatever is actually entertaining, or pick up my phone or something else to distract myself wonderfully from whatever you're saying. So that's great. Cut out all the cliches. Now let's go into deeper stuff. Let's go into technique. We want to speak. We've looked at the basics. Yeah. Like Nyavi's saying, we've chopped out everything that's overused. We're keeping it short. Hope you all will like this. Yeah. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I have been asked to talk about. Thank you, Ishwinder. Yeah. Do you know, Nitya? Yeah, there's a chance somebody knows. Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for all of those cliche examples. We're now talking about technique. So we want to speak. We're going to keep it short. We have a good introduction. We're engaging our audience through our speech. But we've done no research whatsoever about speaking. Is it going to work? Or how efficiently do you think it will work? Not so much? Yeah, Ansi? Not very much? Why not? Why won't it work? So if I'm going to cook, I need to look at the recipe with practice, gets better, right? I try to understand, okay, how exactly, so it might be a paneer curry. I love paneer, by the way. So it might be a paneer curry, but everything from how I chop the onions to how, what level of heat I keep the stove on at different points is going to affect the final dish. So just like that, it's really important to think of the technique from the little things to the bigger things. And that, as you know, is easily available through TED Talks, through all sorts of guides that are videos and blogs and even articles about speaking. So try to do that, but not passively by just watching it, but by actively analyzing what you're seeing. So I'm speaking now. A bunch of people spoke before me. And instead of just sitting there and being like, yeah, she's speaking, okay, it's happening, you take an active form of, okay, which parts of her speaking technique do I like? Which parts of her speech got a bit dull? Which parts can I try to implement in my own style? Which parts do I want to avoid? Which one would be suitable for this audience? Which would be better for that audience? So start analyzing and thinking of all of that. Yes, Shahansha, absolutely. Try out storytelling. It works great with a bunch of people. There's even corporate storytelling where they use stories in, fancy offices to get their points across. And so start thinking of it in that way, not necessarily by taking out 1 hour each day, but by even just when you watch a video, even you're watching a video about skincare and someone saying, okay, this is the T zone, apply the turmeric like this. Try to observe how it is they're speaking, what you like, and what can be done better, and which of those things you can implement. Okay, with that, we are going to go to some final bits, after which we'll start having questions and interactions full on, which is going to be about don't read out, right? Which I think I'd done, that if I read out or if I look down and don't engage with you, how do you feel? So that's the last thing you want to do. You might be a brilliant writer. You might have written the best sort of stuff, but if you're going to be looking here and just reading out your speech, they're not going to feel the best, right? They're not going to feel like, wow, I'm interacting with this person and I'm getting everything. Yeah, absolutely. Make it like a real life situation. If you're having a conversation with somebody at a cafe, how would you speak to them? Just go ahead and do that. Doesn't have to be so different from how you talk in real, and it doesn't have to be drastically different from how you would have a chat with a friend. Yeah. So that's fantastic as well. And finally, use stories, use anecdotes, use real life examples, and your teaching tools that you now convert into tools for your presentation, which could be pictures or videos or audio clips, anything at all. Okay, and all of that will help you make it better. Finally, you might want to take feedback from your audience, because like I said, you never think of your audience as unintelligent and having no idea about what you're teaching or telling them or having a conversation about. And you think of them as intelligent, and you open that space for them to contribute to your growth as well. On that note, I've got a feedback form link over here. Just a second. And copy and paste. There it is. Cool. I put it for the Google Meet folks, and I put it for the YouTube folks as well. As a feedback form, go ahead, analyze, interpret, say everything you want to say about how this went for you. And that's how we make sure as a speaker as well that we're learning both ways, right? So it can be a form when it's virtual. It could simply be an all-round discussion if you're all sitting in the same room. All right. So thank you very much. That was everything from me. And now I'd love to hear your questions, any thoughts you have, and anything at all. Because in general, just to put it out once again, we looked at public speaking is not just about a stage. We're doing it all the time without realizing it. We need to have real, genuine intentions. There's nothing to fear when you've prayed like we did over here 3 times before we began, and when you've practiced on your breathing. Do a lot of personal work to make sure you're not criticizing yourself, because that's what you're receiving, imagining you're receiving from people, which would be that people are mostly safe. The world is mostly full of people who want to help you out. If you fall down at a railway station face first, which I have, with a lot of bags on my back and one in my arms, most people are going to try to help you get up. They're not going to say, yeah, push this person down again. So to change our thoughts on what others are and what we ourselves are towards others, to cut down on the self-criticism, exercise, feel great, work on your mind, work on your body, work on your spirit. Start strong, keep it short. You can do it within 6 words. Interact with them and make sure that you consider others as an equal to you, and keep back all of the stereotypes and prejudices you have towards all sorts of people and chuck it in the garbage. So yes, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed each other. The link is in the chat. I'm sharing it once again. There you are. Cool. Okay, what questions do you have, people? I would love to answer and hear from you as well.
Jabin,
Yes, you can write your question in the chat, and you can also go ahead and unmute yourself if that's possible.
Jabin,
Okay, we're waiting for Jabin to, okay.
if anyone has questions, you can please ask. You can please unmute and ask the question.
Because Sandra said it was like
Ma'am,
a.
I've already posted on the chat box. Yeah, it's mentioned on the chat
Okay.
box already.
All right. Please post your questions in the chat. Great. So, what do we have? Like a person to person interaction. Thank you, Sandra. I'm very happy it was that way. Any questions about anything at all? Have I answered all of those different words that came up in the beginning? Nervousness, and people will judge us, past experiences, not having vocabulary, being stuck with grammar. Yes? Anything at all? Okay, I don't see any questions. But this is a great time to ask questions. It could just be a question, it could be a comment, it could be anything you want to add to what I said, maybe. Yeah? Any thoughts about any of it? Ooh, wonderful. I have a first question. Thank you, Indubala. How to improve our vocabulary if we don't have much time to learn? Oh, that's a great question. As an English language teacher, I would say there are applications on the phone, there are websites on the internet that could very easily help you work on your vocabulary with just 2 or 3 minutes per day. So they just possibly take you through a quiz, give you a definition if you get something wrong, take you level by level, and it'll just take 2 to 3 minutes per day, which we think we don't have 2 to 3 minutes, but we sort of do, especially if you check your YouTube watch time or download an application checking your phone time, you'll see that we spend a lot of time on social media or just receiving stuff. What application? You'll have to do your research in that case. There are a whole range, and different people prefer different kinds. Some people like to play it as a game and develop vocabulary. Some people prefer having, articles that explain or include those words. The different applications have different strengths, and same for websites. You can see which one works for you. Yeah, just explore, experiment, and all the best with your vocabulary journey, Indu and Soumya. What else? Question number 2. Ardra is asking how to work on tone and body language. Wonderful. So, you're most welcome. How to work on tone and body language. So, tone would be through, yes, this is one of the things that was towards the end, not just analyze others' work, but also analyze your own progress. Thank you so much for this question, Ardra. Voice notes on WhatsApp and other messaging applications are a great way to listen to yourself speaking. A lot of times you might end up deleting the message after you record it because it doesn't sound the best. And just sending people you trust and are comfortable with, your voice notes or recordings on different subjects, whatever it is, and getting honest feedback, constructive feedback, which has both, hey, Mariam, you did this well, but this could have been a bit better. And that'll help you grow. So that's one way to work on tone. As for body language, there are, once again, wonderful mobile applications on working on posture, everything from shoulder stretches to just working on your back muscles to get our posture, which is really affected by this whole digital space that we've created for ourselves, to just work on that through exercise. So that, I say, would be body language. And once again, all of the inner work in believing in yourself. As long as you've got good intentions and mean well for others and want to see them succeed, why not? Nothing to, keep ourselves hung on. So see that, check that, take videos of yourself, make audio recordings, send it to people and learn. Other questions? Lots of input. Thank you. I'm very happy you enjoyed it, Madhu. I feel that my heart will break out when I face the audience. How do you manage? Thank you, Sandra, for asking and for sharing that. I felt the same somewhere around grade 6 when the audience had suddenly become bigger in school. And all my mother told was to pray, to take like a few seconds to pray and keep all evil out and to pray to God for refuge, for protection from evil. And that just really helped. Because if you have the source, which is what I also said to a 5th grader boy when he was very afraid of going on stage and making a wonderful debate about environmental issues, I told him, if you have the source, the creator of everything wonderful in the world, who owns everything and makes everything so beautifully with you, and your intentions are good, and you have nothing but love to give to others, there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that needs to hold you back, because you have goodness with you, and it's within yourself as well. So I would say that would be one great way to face an audience, to just know that your intentions are right and that everything good is with you. Also, I would really probably recommend wonderful books, or maybe summaries of books. Once again, great applications and websites for that, where you find great short summaries of these really powerful books, like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Fantastic book. You can totally train your mind to, change direction, whether it's about finances, money problems, problems with others, sick people, you yourself being unwell, all of that. Next question. Hope that helps. Should we switch between strategies at a formal presentation and a motivational talk for school students? I suppose it depends on the age of your school students. First graders might not necessarily connect with, a very formal sort of talk. And personally speaking, the balance between formal and informal is upon you. So what you feel is right for the audience, what works for you, and what is your own style, Rashmi, will sort of reflect in how you speak wherever you are. Shabna, what is your opinion on switching languages while delivering a speech? Ooh, so I definitely don't believe in penalizing anybody for speaking in their native language, whether it's at a school or a college or anywhere else. It's great to learn international languages that help us reach a larger audience, but all languages are beautiful and are created equal. And there's no reason to not switch unless you have been let know that you need to stick to a certain language. But otherwise, if you have the possibility, why not include as many people as you can? I crack jokes in Malayalam all the time when I'm giving an informal safety-based workshop to children, so they connect, why not? Feedback link, sure. Thank you for the good initiative. Thank you, Mala Jayashree. It's interesting. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed being here. I forget everything. I hope it helps, Indu. I really hope it helps, especially the breathing and having short notes instead of the whole essay with you. Yes, thank you, Arun, for sharing the link. How to fix the tension. So, Hena B, tension by the inner work, by building on yourself, and by just exercising in all these different formats just helps you feel better about the person you are and accept yourself. What else do we have? We've got any other questions? Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Wonderful. Thank you, Prakash. I'm very happy you enjoyed yourself. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pete Memorial College, for having me here. Hope you enjoyed super skill number 1 and that you develop all the other wonderful skills that are coming up, the next 6 ones. They look amazing. I think you're really lucky and blessed to have this opportunity to learn from all of these people speaking the next week. So all the best for that. And thank you, Dr. Soni, for having me, Shruti for the very kind words, and all of you for participating so kindly, both on YouTube and over here on Google Meet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mariam. We are winding up the session, so I request Parvati S. Kumar to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jibil. Respected Principal Dr. Mariam Matthew Ma'am, Honorable Resource Person Ms. Mariam Rauf Ma'am, Coordinator Dr. Velayudan Noyasa, Convener Dr. Soni Mary Verghese Ma'am, teachers and dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks for this session. The art of public speaking holds many practical benefits. Mariam Rauf Ma'am explained very well about to speak in public and to develop our communication skills. We all are inspired by your great words. On behalf of Pete Memorial Training College, Mavelikara, I express hearty thanks to our resource person, Mariam Rauf Ma'am. I would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Mariam Matthew Ma'am, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best and standing as a pillar of strength and support. Thank you, ma'am. An event like this cannot happen overnight. With deep sense of appreciation, I thank the coordinators Dr. Velayudan Nair sir and Dr. Soni Mary Verghese. Special thanks to Mr. Arun Abi David, College Union Chairman, for his dedicated efforts. I thank Jebin Fatima, the host of the session, Ansi Tijoy, the student convener, Ms. Shruti Sara Reggie for introducing the speaker. I would like to thank all the people who worked behind the scene to make this session happen. I extend my sincere gratitude to all the teachers and students joined the session for their cooperation and support. I hope you all have enjoyed the informative session. Thank you. Thank you all. Stay safe.
Arun,
Thank you, Soni ma'am. Bye-bye. Thank you,
thank you,
everybody.
Mariam. 1 minute.
Oh, sure.
Arun, national anthem.